So even when they mean well, you can never hear the well part of it. It's the wound that you have not treated that you are hearing from. It's like you are wearing glasses and the lens is blue. Everything you see will be blue. The capacity that we have as human beings, we have no ideas. And I think that one of the things that the devil wants to mess up in every human being is your mind. Is your identity master. The moment you don't know who you are, the moment you don't know whose you are, the moment you don't know what you carry, you are a candidate. Because even when you know, they're still going to attack what you know. How much more when you don't know? So I'm going to talk real quick about the 9 steps to healing. Real quick, backstory. My name is Atinika Shalanta. For people that are not from my side of the world, Atinika means that I've been nurtured and pampered on the womb since Atinuke. So they've been taking care of me from the womb, as in I've been a baby girl since. That's what it means. And I'll tell you real quick a story about a child who came from my own womb. So 5th of January 2015, my family was blessed with a bouncing baby boy, a kind boy. And then, he's very agile, very playful, very boyish. He said but you can't tell him anything. I'm Spider-Man. Jumping, flying, and all of that. Fast forward to September 2020. This beautiful morning, my husband had gone to work. I was getting ready to go to work. And then he just comes, Mommy, my tummy hurts. What's wrong? Oh, don't worry, you'll be fine. Take paracetamol. When Nigeria back then, take paracetamol, it will be good. So I gave him paracetamol. I went back, I've been a baby girl, and that's why I extended my name. Dressing up for work and stuff. And then he comes back, he's still hurting his, okay, but this is now not normal. Hospital. We get to the hospital. I look back now and I say to the glory of God, because we get to the hospital, they run scans, do this, and they say it's into succession. That something about his intestines being entwined or something like that, right? But to the glory of God, they did not have a pediatric surgeon on ground at that hospital. If not, they would have opened him up and then. So that, we don't have this, go to another hospital. So they referred us to another pediatric hospital in Lagos. And then he was already late by then. So I called. And then they started asking me, is he doing this? No. Is he doing that? No. Is it? No, that's not what it is. If it is what it is, he won't be doing all these things. So the following morning, we go back to the hospital, another hospital this time around. And then run scans, run everything, and they come back and say, we're sick. It's cancer. He was fine. Right? So all that, we did surgery in Nigeria, did this. Before then, I didn't even know children could have cancer, by the way. We did all of this, and then, doctors come and say, if you guys can, leave the country for better healthcare. That's how I'm now in Houston. That's how we moved. And I got to Houston in September 2020. By October, this period has not come. Period has not come. What's going on? And then I found out I was pregnant. So in all of that, taking care of my son, I was pregnant. And I came with my mom, a daughter, and a son. So then I got here when I was pregnant. And then fast forward 2 years after, long story. So in the midst of all the treatments, my bump was growing. I don't know if anybody has had an experience with the cancer patients. The chemo, the radiation, the throwing up. He can't walk with my big. In fact, we were the sample sorrowful family at the hospital, because how are you doing it with your bump? How are you running? How are you carrying a child? And doing all of that. And then, to the glory of God, at some point, he was declared cancer-free. He had resumed school. Everything went great. We're back to life. It took me it was over a year that I moved to the US before I could enter a mall. Because if I was not at the hospital with chemo, I was doing antenatal, right? And then, so I had the baby 6 months after she was born. December, he comes, Mom, my tummy. What happened? Back to the hospital, and this time they say, well, sorry, he's back. It's more aggressive, and there's nothing we can do at this part. And then they begin to describe to me how he's going to oh, he would have this, he would have that, this will happen. And then they begin to ask, start preparing. Okay, now I know this place, they don't pay. Hospice is coming, nurse is coming, register this, register that. And I'm like, no, what's gonna make it? My God, never. I was a zombie. You know that stress Omunju was talking about? Every prayer platform, I was a nuisance. I became, I'm sure most of us are mothers here. I was a nuisance. There's no prophets. Let me refer to myself. My people perish for lack of knowledge. There was a prophet that somebody introduced me to. And this person says, we need to get water. If you're not Yoruba, I don't know how to explain it in Hindi, that will be sweet. Omi orioki. That's what they call it. It's like Omi Adura from the water from the mountain that they prayed on, He said I need to get 7 from 7 different mountains. I was here. To paid some. Once we go to this, I use DHL to carry keg of water to the US because this one was needed. Like, if I look back now, that's one thing I'm actually very grateful to God. I know that everything within my human power, I did. So I have no regrets looking back. All this while I wasn't working, I had a baby, I had a daughter. In Nigeria, I had a very good job, very good business. I was thriving. And I just packed my bags one day and I left. I literally left with a small box that we're coming back. I didn't know what cancer. I had not experienced. I used to hear, but I didn't have that, close experience before. So I was still downplaying this thing like it's malaria or typhoid. At some point, at that point, because I was nursing, my mom would do hospital runs for me with my son. Me, I'll be nursing. I'll be doing school runs with my daughter because I'm not going to do it at the time. I started doing DoorDash because money has changed. I have to feed the kids, Adi. This was the time when dollar rate was flying high. So how much would they possibly send from Nigeria that would make sense and be enough to take care of a family here? So I started doing DoorDash. Car sits at the back, baby at the back. Once I drop my daughter in school, I will go dashing. When I need to breastfeed, I will pack. I'll breastfeed in the car. When I need to change that car, I'll pack. I'll change that car. I'll be carrying food up and down. When I pick my daughter up in school, after school, I'm back. Those ones do not know what's going on. So she's eating anything she wants. Any restaurant she sees, I want this, we're buying, right? But I had to stop at a point because it was now beginning to affect my child because school, we're getting home late, no time for rest, no time for homework and stuff. Long story short, September 13th, 2022, my son died. And he died right beside me on my bed. I will never forget. I remember I woke up and he was there lifeless. And then I called his nurse and she comes. She looks at him, does all the chest like, it's time. Time for what? NSPPD. I even funny you reference NSPPD. I did it. Lie. I started quoting scriptures with confidence. Because all this preparation, funeral home, I didn't answer. Because my son is not going to do. What are you talking about? So I did. My faith was no. Anyway, and then all of that happened, and he passed. At that point, I became. You know what a zombie is? Sleep, wake up. What's today? I don't know. I don't care. What's tomorrow? I had no go. So first of all, backtrack. You can imagine what that would have done to my marriage because my husband was not in the country all this while. So there was that anger and resentment that I had also built towards him. You are in Nigeria, you are enjoying. You will go to work, you will hang out with your friends. When they are doing parties, you are attending parties. We are fine. I'm the one that I'm doing DoorDash. Me that I'm a baby girl, that I had company, I had everything. I'm the one, so marriage. Before all of this drama, there was already a strain in marriage. Then this now, layered it. So he passed, everything happened, and then I remember one of my friends at the time trying to get me to come out of, all that I was going through, invited me for a birthday party. And then I went for the party. I dressed up around for the party, and I got to the party. For some reason, I just looked down at my feet, and I realized that I was wearing 2 different shoes. But that was when I knew that it's time to seek help, because I was not myself again. I had become a shadow of myself. I was just angry. God, husband, why me? What's going on? I shared that backstory to Sadie. Life broke me before it built it. I'm here as a testament, as a testimony to what healing looks like. And that's where Trauma to Triumph was born out of. So every year, she said she attended my event last week. So every year on the 13th of September, he died on the 13th of September. So if he falls on a Saturday or, anyway, every year in September, I host a conference from Trauma to Triumph. It's a free event. It's my way of saying thank you, God. How I'm here now, how I'm saved, what's done, how I did not go mad, how life dealt with me, and I'm now sharing this story to help people. If I tell you, I don't know, but look, we always learn looking back, and there is something God wants to do with everything that you are going through. So that's where I found my purpose through my pain, because I don't take events like this for granted. Wow. I remember my son died in September. By November, my church in Nigeria, Harvesters, started a series on emotional healing or something. And I joined online. So whenever I'm in rooms like this, I'm always grateful for you that you are here to choose yourself. Because my transformation started online. No access to we're having Q&A. No access to ask questions. Here and go and start doing. So I started hearing things about emotions. I started hearing things about mindset. I started hearing things about childhood trauma. I started hearing things about vision. I started hearing things, even the Bible. You know how we just quote scriptures, but we don't really know what it means. You know how we do religion, because that's what they say. We just know this thing, but we don't know how to practice it. We don't know what it really means. And I started to. So the more I learned these things, the more curious I go with me, because my marriage was so bad. My husband was talking to lawyers for divorce. Mates were here. I was talking to lawyers for divorce. So this thing. Before my son died, I was at a point where God, my prayer point, if this boy should die, is a sign if this marriage is over. If this boy should leave, I will take it that you still want this thing to work. So you can imagine that after the son died, it's over. I was done. So when I started to learn these things, I got curious. And then you know how they say when the student is ready, the teacher would care. And that's how I found this coach. Coach. So, and I don't know if you know Pastor Kingsley and Pastor Mildred. Yes, yeah. So they did a seminar called Heal Before You Deal. At this point, I was attending everything because remember I said my marriage was over. So I was attending everything that anything happens, even if I'm going to be married, I was not married that type of money again. So I was ready to put in the work I'm not there on private to fire again, no. But then I learned these things. I remember I reached out to one of the people in that program when I just sent her a DM on Instagram. I can never forget that message. Help in my life is over. And she says, I have a course coming up, enroll. I did not have money, like I said. I was doing the other day and I raised that money. I still priced at very cheapness now. Please, I don't have money. Can I pay in installments? She said, okay, no problem. So I paid installments, right? And then I did that course. I didn't know I did these things. So that's how I was so fascinated about the human mind. The capacity that they have as human beings, we have no ideas. And I think that one of the things that the devil wants to mess up in every human being is your mind, is your identity, master. The moment you don't know who you are, the moment you don't know whose you are, the moment you don't know what you carry, you're a candidate. Because even when you know, they're still going to attack what you know. How much more when you don't know? So I started to learn this thing. The more I learned, and then, so I'm a first child. So I'm also one who, has people behind me. I'm always the venting ground. Everybody just comes to me for advice, for this. So I learned this thing. I started seeing how childhood trauma has shaped me. I started seeing the role that I played in the downfall of my marriage. Before then, and nothing you can tell me, my husband is the devil, me, I'm Jesus angel. My husband is a bad person, me, I'm a good person. You don't understand how evil he is. That's why you are telling me to go back. In fact, if you tell me to go back, I will block you. We're not friends again. How can you tell me to go back to that man? So the more I learned these things, I put in the work. Mindset, there was a time in my life for 3 years, real two, back-to-back chains, horses, listening to messages. It's when the Bible says that we should not be confounded by the things of this world or by the constant renewing of your mind. They get why. There's a why behind it, because you cannot solve a problem with the same mindset that puts you in that problem. There is something you do not know. That's why you are going through what you are going through. With these few points of Manti, I know that if we share stories, if we start asking everybody what are you going through, everybody has a story. Everybody has what it is that they are going through. Everybody has something that is bestand. In fact, and I have seen and I have learned while being in rules like this, that when you think you have a problem, if you hear the next person's problem, you will embrace your problem and thank God for your problem. Yeah. Really. So, light broke me before he built me. I sat in the dark, confused, angry, asking God, why me? I felt invisible in my marriage with my kids, So when I talk about healing, it's because I know, and I'm not talking from theory, I'm not talking from hope knowledge, I'm talking from experience. I've walked in that shoe. I know where it's pinching you. So today I'm going to be talking real quick because I would actually like us that we have more time for Q&A. All right, so I'm going to talk real quick about the 9 steps to heal. 9 steps. And I'm going to share, so I'm basically getting you copy and paste for free. So thank you, Mr. Adito, for this because I picked plenty. Right, so I want to walk us through 9 steps of healing. Now, these steps are not principles. They are lifelines that also carried me. They are steps that I also took that brought me out of that darkness, for lack of a better word. Number 1 is detachment. Creating safe space to heal. You cannot heal in the same environment that broke you. It's like you are trying to recover from poison, but you are eating the same food. How many of us took COVID vaccine?
Yeah.
Nope. As you have taken that COVID vaccine now, would you go to ICU with COVID patients to say, because I've taken the vaccine, I got this? That's it. So you have to detach from that source of your pain. For some, it might just be, I've heard all sorts. So I like sharing stories when I'm new because I want it to be relatable. I don't want you to listen as gist. Please listen so that you can reflect. Listen so that you can also, look back. How has this affected me? What do I need to do in this step? So you need to detach from whatever it is that has caused you pain. It could be messages on your phone that you need to detach from. Because your boyfriend has broken up with you now, you did not delete all those messages. So you are reading those messages over and over again. You promised me. We had plans for this together. This uncle said this, but he hasn't done what uncle was. How is that helping you? Okay, let me talk real quick about life responses to pain. What am I learning? What did this pain teach me? Life is a teacher. Pain is the teacher. You see these things I learned about me, the role that I had to play in my marriage? I cannot make those same mistakes again. Because I now know better. Oh, by the way, I'm still married to the same man. So they do it back, and then people will see us now and think, oh, you all look so cute.
He's so cute, by the way.
Well, like anywhere, so you're married now for 14 years, but I can tell you, before my Sunday, it was hellfire. That marriage was hell. Oh, let's not even talk about marriage. I know this. Invite me again, but that marriage back hell. But now, people see us now and think, oh, you guys, I will run into someone and what we're talking about, oh, marriage is like You two are married? Like they thought we're dating. But yeah, I also get your record. But yeah, I also had to accept that I had a role to play in the downfall of that marriage. So my question to me. Oh, let me ask you a quick assignment so that you submit to. Number one, what do you have to accept? Number two, what do you need to detach from? Number three, are you ready for this one? Forgive. Unforgiveness is like you are carrying a backpack and you want to run the race of life. Imagine someone else does not have any load and the person is running the same race as you. Who do you think will run better? The person. We're not forgiving because they deserve it. They were forgiving because you need to give them an. You know you can forgive and keep them at arm's length. It's all right. You have showed me who you really are. Because as Christians, we want to say, no, forgive 77 abuse in Bible. It says, I see guy. And I think we'll got it. And those but so that's why you keep, instead of having boundaries, you keep quoting that scripture. Not every week boundaries in it. Going back. You keep going back. You learn to lesson. You can actually forgive and it's okay, stay there. See? Like I said, pain is a teacher. She's teaching you. Now the cruise here is if you miss that lesson, it's waiting for you in short. Yeah. Times 10. Okay, I tried. I used to tell God that I think like my stove. I feel like I feel like Noah. No, not Noah. Who the fish swallow? Jonah. I probably God was putting a nonsense. I was doing baby there. I was doing I have money. I was doing I have business. I was doing I always say that, you know, people see now that I'm in the US and I you because even abroad, I said, baby girl, have you carried myself? You worship? Huh? She said you're married, sick girl in Nigeria. Oh really? Please God and beg. Like, you know, I had the baby girl life, everything, and I'll come here and be hustling, I'll be cooking, be doing school runs. No, but see, I feel like that's God had a plan. That's probably the only me I will have protect me from my comfort zone, and the comfort zone is your enemy. Biggest, that's the word. Your biggest enemy is your comfort zone. The biggest enemy is your comfort zones. But I digress. Let me come back. Forgiveness. So it's not about the other person, it's about you. You're not forgiving for them, you're forgiving for yourself. That's why the number of times that Jesus said that we should forgive, do you think is realistic? Because he knows you need it. I had to forgive parents. I had to forgive my spouse. That period of my life, the people that I hate so much can stand by me, move with them. I think one of the most supportive people in that season of my life was a friend's friend. So we knew each other, but we were not close per se. This babe, as she was receiving her salary in Nigeria, I had a part of it that she's sending to me every month. Yeah. This is not something that I was close to at the time. I mean, now she's my bestie, of course. What? Beforehand, you see, God used that season to teach me what support system was like. I used to fight it, so because my mindset before is, you know, send me. It's not you that puts me in trouble that I'm going through what I'm going through. So I'll pay 6. First one, if I first one, physically coaching and therapy. But legit, you need it. Because there are some things that we think is normal. It's not normal, it's trauma, but I'm not yet step about trauma. I want to go to it. Let's move forward. But there are some things that we do that we think is ordinary. I remember my husband back then tell me how I'm so defensive. Like, you're the one with the corner. If you are talking to me the right way, I'll not be defensive. Let me tell you the root of being defensive. As a child, at the first con, they corrected me tired. Hey, do it like this. Don't do it. One minute I was already. Do it like this. And it was out of love, obviously, but my interpretation of it was that because I don't have sense, because I'm not good enough. So as an adult, if you feedback, yeah. So my husband should mistakenly say, that shoe you are wearing for the boy is fine. Because then for every glass in my house, there must be a corresponding ghost. To give you back. No, you can't just, you just talk to me and go stop him as a child. If they say yes, it's yes, you dare not complain. Now that I have small boys, I'll fight you. So my friendships, my marriage, no, I couldn't take feedback. That's a sign. So that I just dropped that there in case you are suffering with it. Enroll for coaching, please. So who do you need to forgive? Who do you need to forgive? I'll tell you one of the ways that you can forgive is you write a letter. Write a letter to the person that hurt you. And don't be vague. I forgive you for all the things you did to me. No. Don't be vague. Express it. You are releasing it. So I'm so excited. If she was speaking, I was so glad that she went before we. Because a lot of these things that she also shared, apart from genetics, is also attributed emotions. There are actually some types of cancers attributed to emotional issues. Unforgiveness is one of it. Breast cancer, especially for women. This is not to say it's because they are not forgiving the addict, but it's also statistics show that, is also one of the causes. So kids, it's not for them at the end. Like she said, all this thing that she's saying, go to your doctor. It's not for you, it's for you. So yes, it's painful. Yes, they hurt you. Yes, they did. There's unto lot. What are we using that? Now, another thing I'll share is the more you rehash, so your brain, your mind is wired to protect you. That thing that you went through before, sour jaw, so you show and you don't go through it again. How? When something happens, if I say you are ugly or no, your shoe is, let me not use it, let me use me. Back then, if you had told me that, use me. If you had told me this is happening, oh, maybe you should have worn a black top instead of green. Hey? I will give you back. Why? Because what your brain tell you what happens in that moment, your brain, your mind is taking you back to when that thing happened, your very first experience of that thing. So if you are having issues in your marriage, please pay attention. It's not about your spouse. Like I said, before anything, I always thought my husband was the problem. Learning all these things, I was not reacting from what he was saying. You only hear from your traumas. You hear from your pain. If you don't heal, you will keep hearing wrongly. So even when they mean well, you can never hear the well part of it. It is the wound that you have not treated that you are hearing from. It's like you are wearing glasses and the lens is blue. Everything you see will be blue. If you wear red, everything you see will be red. So is how do I get to the point where I lift up my glasses and actually see? Let me give one example that I always tell people. So, please come. What might happen?
I know.
What do you see?
I see your family. So, baby girl, fine boy, you and your
Topping. What do I see? This is the back of my phone, but this is what I'm looking at. What do I see?
yeah.
The back of your phone. So I'm seeing my camera and I'm seeing my phone case. These are like given to a relationship. How can you see family? Is your right thing? And me, I'm here. You are fighting me. How can you see camera?
Say that. Is she wrong? Am I wrong? Perspective.
Nothing means anything except the meaning that you give to it. You are the one that you are giving that thing meaning. Change your meaning, change your life. I'm helping you to make forgiveness easier. So whatever it is that person has done to you, perhaps it's just your perspective. Their opinion, it doesn't make them wrong. It doesn't make you wrong. Both of us can be right. Or how do we get to the point where we realize that? Okay. Share with me what this means to you. And I share. That's why two people will have a fight. And the third party comes, their versions can never be the same. And as the same fight, it's different perspectives. See? So I'm helping you so that forgiveness will be easier. Step 4, closure. Finishing that chapter. So forgiveness without closure is like you are cleaning a wound, but you are still leaving it open. Closure means that this story is finished. I'm not allowing you to do this to me again. When we hear closure, everybody thinks it's to go back to the person that hurt you and explaining. Not everybody's head is correct, so that's why I said your forgiveness letter, you don't have to give it to the person. It's just for you to release. So when you write what you are forgiving the person for, you are writing everything that did. I forgive you for calling me stupid. I forgive you for disgracing me in front of your friends. I forgive you for not giving me money even though I knew that you had that money. I forgive you for telling me that I'm ugly when I don't know I'm Write it. There's no right or wrong. Write everything. Now, when we say closure is okay, evidence of forgiveness is prayer. So even though you hurt me and release you, you don't have that power over me anymore. Because the devil wants them to have. Because the more you are angry at someone, the more you are holding on to what they have done to you, you are giving them power over it. You are giving that person or whatever institution is power over you, and you want to take back your power, right? So closure. So ask yourself, what unfinished conversations or rituals do I need to complete to forget this case, to close it? These are the steps that I took that I could forgive my husband and forget everything I did. Because before, I lacked the Spanish. No. As I'm remembering, I'm giving you the gist of what that I went through in my marriage. I see that man is in front of me. So the hatred is layering. The anger is there all over again. So we need to release. Let go so that we don't have microcontrol. Let go. How do you let go? Step 5, breathe. Allowing yourself to feel. Some of us think crying is the sign of weakness. If you come to my coaching program and you don't cry, hey, there's the problem. You have to release. It's a sign that you're on track. All of us think, oh, I have to keep it together, put it in. No, breathe is not weakness. It's medicine. Because when you leave it in your body for too long, that's when we're having all these sicknesses and diseases. So, me, like I can say that I'm the first child. So me, I was the typical strong. I got this. You know the funny thing, my neighbor, my sister's phone is my pillar. That's how tough I used to be and strong. So anything that is happening, I'm the one. Meanwhile, I'm on the inside, I'm dying. But the house will show up as this. So even to break down in front of people, I couldn't. Because I had the reputation to maintain. The message is not sent to me. So I got this. I have to now. Anyway, I'm removed. So allow yourself to breathe. How do you do that? Cry. I heard someone Reverend Kisti Batue at the, I think it was, I'm not sure if it was Raw or another one, where she shared how she has an hour. She dedicates 1 hour to crime. So when something happens, she'll lock herself and 1 hour. After that 1 hour, we move. What do we have to do? It's okay to breathe. I'm not going to say grieve. It's not like somebody died. You can grieve a job loss. You can grieve a relationship. You can grieve that they raped you. Your virginity has gone. Whatever it is, it's okay to grieve it. It's okay. When you, the goal is not to stay there, but the goal is to release it, right? So it's okay to cry. It's okay to journal. Therapy. I think coaching and therapy literally changed my life. So I don't play with it. So I will always advise, please have a coach, have a mentor. Grieve, stay, cry. Yeah, you have me now. Cry, journal, retreat into silence. They're not signs of failure, they're signs of healing. Jesus himself wept. So who are you not to be? Cry, let it out. When you think pain, Jesus, our Lord and Savior, he cried. So when I finally allowed my son when I allowed myself to grieve the loss of my son, things changed. There was I'm giving input gist about my son and walking around. Before, I couldn't even call his name. It's another episode. But now, see, because I have gone through these steps, right? And step 6, rediscovery. This is the pattern of. This is when you need to ready. Who are you? Who are you? Someone has a way of erasing your identity. For the life of me, all my life, I thought I was shy. I thought I was quiet. It was just trauma. I was just childhood trauma that it was a coping mechanism. But I thought that was my identity. Now, the more I did this work, the more I found out about myself, the more, I understood what childhood trauma is and how it has shaped me or affected me. And I started to put in the work to go. I started to find myself. I did a certification course in emotional intelligence. And, for the certificates, they were going to, so after the cohorts, right, they will now to drop you on the alumni group. They need a bio. That was my first time writing a bio ever. Who's bio? What's a match? Who am I? Good Lord. So I was going I told her, do you know, I started going through my notes. So back in Nigeria, I own a fashion brand, Fusion Trends, where I sell female accessories. But my accessories was not your typical purse or bag. It was always the unusual things. So you see a watermelon, shaped as a purse. You see a bird cage. You see very weird things. Or why? My goal then was because I'm shy. If I enter a room, I don't want anybody to, I don't know what to say to strike a conversation. But if I carry a purse from my brand, you will speak to me. You will be intrigued. Okay, what is this? Why are you carrying a bird cage, And so basically all my pieces were conversation starters. But if you ask me then, it was just for the normal, typical shy woman that wants to be noticed, but you don't have the voice, you are shy, And then that was when I started to rediscover certain things that I did. And I started to realize that, oh my God, I've actually always been helping women, but not consciously, right? Yeah, I wasn't even aware that there was something around what I was already doing and, finding that's who I've always been. So my identity, I heard about personality tests. I do mentorship with Reverend Sam Agayeni, and he was talking about how, he doesn't clear a personality test and stuff, So I had done some of them in the past, and that's when I started to discover that, I'm a San votes. You knew it. Like, I'm a sanguine, meaning that I'm the light of the party. I'm the normal rebel, noise maker, me. But I say I'm shy. How? Before I went on this journey, to stand before, I can't stand that much more. A room full of women, could never have been me. I was just the reserved, quiet girl, doing my day in church, sit down, noise maker, sit down at the back. So that you not see me. I like club. I still do actually. Why? This dark. Cannot see me there. But I just liked all those kind of things, Anyway, rediscovery. Find yourself. Who are you? Outside of all this, I remember as a child, I always wanted to be a model, wearing my face to be on billboards, where I'll drive past and see my face up there, And because I now know all of these things about myself, I'm now walking in that light. And that's why I can do what I do now. Confidently. Do you understand? So who are you? Your husband did it to you, I'm very sorry. This person did that to you, sorry. Oh, dig down, who are you? Do you know the truth? I realized that we focus so much on what people are doing to us because we don't have a bigger goal. There's nothing that is chasing. I always thought, what does Nova want to do to me? It's painful, but you are not the mission. And my mission is still in front. So because I have a bigger why, you see those small things that I used to fight about, I don't, where is the time to know and remember that you're not saying anything to me? Here. When something is right here. Do you understand? So I always tell women that come to me, you don't have a why. If you have a strong why, you will not even see what he's doing like that. I'm telling you. And this is not from a place of being cold or you're not my loving wife, but it's just, you get to a place where you build yourself because you know who you are. That you know. Hey, I'm sorry, let me be braggadocious a little bit. But it gets to that point where your husband knows that you are the icing on the cake. If I lose this woman, my ball finish. So you become so valuable to people around you that this advice this woman gave me, come and walk. 1, 2, and then the way you even carry your own results is your testimony, is your evidence. Sure, you are not listening to me, but you are seeing that I'm producing results. See, we focus so much on the little things, I'm telling you. It did not help me. It did not. If you, what's that thing they used to say? When I used to join, I still join. Sorry. If we they pray, they show. I'll be going to show workings. I'm telling you, proof all in life. It's because now you are not showing results.